Formula One today is fast, advanced, and safer than ever before. But that level of safety didn't come easily. It was built on lessons learned from tragedy, from crashes that shocked the world and forced the sport to change. These are the crashes that changed F1 safety forever. 6 kilometers long, 177 corners, surrounded by trees, ditches, and unforgiving barriers. The old Nürburgring, the green hell. In 1976, it became the site of one of the most defining accidents in Formula One history. Niki Lauda, the reigning world champion, lost control of his Ferrari in the fast Bergwerk section. The car smashed into the barrier, bounced back onto the track, and burst into flames. Trapped in the fireball, Lauda suffered horrific burns and smoke inhalation. Several drivers, Arturo Merzario, Guy Edwards, Brett Lunger, and Harold Ertl, stopped their own race to pull him from the burning wreck. Lauda survived against all odds, but the crash exposed fatal flaws in F1's approach to safety. The accident pushed the sport to immediately review track conditions. The Nürburgring was removed from the F1 calendar. Fire-resistant driver suits were improved, refueling systems redesigned, and circuits around the world were forced to modernize. Lauda's crash marked the beginning of a new era, one where safety could no longer be ignored. May 8, 1982. Gilles Villeneuve, famous for his fearless, all-or-nothing driving style, tried to pass a slower car during qualifying. The cars touched at high speed, and Villeneuve's Ferrari was launched into the air. The car shattered on impact, throwing Villeneuve from the cockpit. It was a moment that left the F1 world stunned. After the accident, the FIA accelerated the development of stronger chassis structures, cockpits were reinforced, crash protection was improved, and new standards for driver restraint systems were introduced. Villeneuve's crash was a painful reminder that F1 technology was evolving faster than its safety standards, a problem that had to be fixed immediately. Imola 1994 is often remembered as the darkest weekend in Formula One history. On Saturday, Roland Ratzenberger's wing failed at high speed after hitting a curb. He went straight into the wall at Villeneuve corner, a brutal, fatal impact. Then, on Sunday, tragedy struck again. Ayrton Senna, three-time world champion and one of the greatest drivers ever, left the track at Tamburello after a suspected steering failure. His car hit the concrete wall at enormous speed. 2 deaths in one weekend forced Formula One into a complete safety overhaul. The FIA launched the FIA Safety Institute and began the largest safety reform the sport had ever seen. Higher cockpit walls, stronger crash structures, wider runoff areas, reduced car speeds through regulation changes, mandatory, more advanced crash tests. Imola wasn't just a crash that changed the sport, it was a watershed moment that reshaped modern Formula One forever. In 2007, the world witnessed a crash that proved both how far safety had come and how far it still needed to go. Robert Kubica clipped Jarno Trulli at over 300 kilometers per hour, sending his BMW Sauber into the wall. The car ricocheted across the track, flew over the tarmac, and disintegrated on impact. It looked unsurvivable, but Kubica walked away with a concussion and a sprained ankle, proof that the modern monocoque worked. Still, the crash highlighted dangerous weak points, walls positioned too close to trajectories, and insufficient energy absorption at extreme speeds. After Canada 2007, the FIA strengthened crash tests and redesigned barriers in critical braking zones. During qualifying for the 2009 Hungarian Grand Prix, Felipe Massa was struck by something no driver could ever prepare for: a loose spring from the car ahead. Traveling over 250 kilometers per hour, the metal spring smashed into his helmet. Massa lost consciousness instantly and crashed directly into the tire barrier. This bizarre, freak accident exposed a major vulnerability: the driver's head. The FIA responded quickly. Helmets received new layers of composite reinforcement. Cockpit openings were redesigned. Stricter regulations were introduced for securing mechanical components. Without this crash, the next big safety innovation might never have happened. In the wet, treacherous conditions of Suzuka 2014, Jules Bianchi lost control under yellow flags and slid off the track into a recovery vehicle that was retrieving another crashed car. The impact was catastrophic. The accident exposed serious issues in F1's handling of dangerous track conditions. After a long fight, Bianchi passed away in 2015, and the sport knew things needed to change. The FIA introduced major reforms: the virtual safety car system, new protocols for recovery vehicles, stricter rules for wet races and yellow flag zones. Bianchi's accident reshaped how Formula One protects not only drivers, but also marshals and rescue crews. In 2020, the world watched in shock as Romain Grosjean crashed through a metal barrier on the opening lap in Bahrain. His car split in half. The cockpit pierced the guardrail and exploded in flames. And yet, Grosjean survived. He escaped the fireball thanks to the halo, the titanium structure above the cockpit. Just a few years earlier, the halo was criticized, but in Bahrain, it proved its value beyond question. After this crash, the FIA introduced several new measures: improved fuel system shutoff valves, revised guardrail standards, enhanced fire-resistant gear, faster escape requirements for cockpit and wheel systems. Grosjean's accident showed that even in the modern era, safety must keep evolving. Every crash in this video contributed something vital to the evolution of Formula One. Louder, better circuits and fire protection, Villeneuve. Stronger cockpit structures, Senna and Ratzenberger. The modern safety revolution, Kubica. Improved energy absorption, Massa. Superior helmet and cockpit protection, Bianchi. Virtual safety car, Grosjean. Halo, and modern chassis upgrades. F1 never stops learning. Every crash, every flame, every broken piece of carbon fiber has pushed the sport forward. Which crash do you think had the biggest impact on safety? Fire-resistant driver suits were improved, refueling systems redesigned, and circuits around the world were forced to modernize. Lauda's crash marked the beginning of a new era, one where safety could no longer be ignored. May 8, 1982. Gilles Villeneuve, famous for his fearless, all-or-nothing driving style, tried to pass a slower car during qualifying. The cars touched at high speed, and Villeneuve's Ferrari was launched into the air. The car shattered on impact, throwing Villeneuve from the cockpit. It was a moment that left the F1 world stunned. After the accident, the FIA accelerated the development of stronger chassis structures. Cockpits were reinforced, crash protection was improved. Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more Formula One stories. See you in the next video.